Mr. M.K. Narayanan, who is speaking on the entire controversy where West Bengal is concerned. West Bengal on the edge, massive protests which have been taking place across the state of West Bengal. Let's listen in to Mr. M.K. Narayanan.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor, for giving me an opportunity to come here today and so readily agree to my suggestion that I would like to come and meet the students in my role as Chancellor of the University. At the outset, I wish to make an apology, or rather say I apologize to all the students of Presidency University, perhaps the students of students of all the universities in Calcutta and in Bengal for what has happened. What has happened, as Vice Chancellor herself said, is unprecedented. It should never have happened. It should never happen again. And I think it's a block on our hopes and for the future and of our ambitions to make this a center of excellence. I'm not here to come up with ready-made answers as to what happened and what is an immediate solution to this. What I'm aware of and what is a matter of concern to me is you are the most elite and the most outstanding group of students. Perhaps the entire country, not maybe Bengal. I think each one of you are primed. You're on the runway of life. You're primed to take off. This is what the Vice Chancellor, the faculty, and the alumni here are hoping for. Instead, what took place yesterday, on a big Wednesday, and partly yesterday, was an attempt to prevent you from reaching for the stars. Remember, nothing can stop you. We may have failed you, I as a Chancellor, also as a Governor, accept that I have not been able to fulfill my responsibilities towards you. There are others who have equal blame to share in this matter. And that's one aspect. As you just heard what the Vice Chancellor said, the Chief Minister herself has expressed the view that this should not have happened and that she is devastated because this was a dream project. This has been a dream project for us. And I think we were hopeful that the first set of students as they go out from here would go out in the new dawn. I know that many of you, particularly those who are working in the Bengal lab, would be traumatized by what has happened. And what happened to them must have created a great deal of concern to others, particularly the girl students. When I was young, or until very recently, we go out from here, would go out into a new dawn. I know that many of you, particularly those who are working in the Baker lab, would be traumatized by what has happened. And what happened to them must have created a great deal of concern to others, particularly the girl students. When I was young, or even till very recently, we were always told that Bengal is the safest place for girls and women. I do not know what has happened to that culture. The fact that the day before yesterday, as the Vice Chancellor just now told me, that some ruffians, some criminals, I've used the word and I will repeat it, entered the precincts and then tried to mishandle or molest the girl students, I think is most unfortunate. And if the protections that should have been afforded to them were not present, I think we will have to go into this. I'm not here to sort of apportion blame as to whether this was political party A, political party B. or what exactly was the reason for this. All that I know is that it should not have happened. All that I can assure you is the very reason that I've come here is if the presence of the Chancellor can provide you a certain amount of solace, you have it in full measure from me. I empathize with you. I fully recognize the gravity of what has taken place. I recognize that we have failed you because you came here to study. You came here to add to the wealth of knowledge that this university has produced in the past. You came here to build a great future for yourselves, and this should not have happened. I'm willing to take a few questions if you would like, but what I've said is from my heart. I have talked to the police. I wanted the Commissioner of Police to come with me. He was not sure whether that would act as provocation or not, so I asked him to stay back. But I will carry the message from you people. I shall closely monitor what is being put in place, and I hope never again in your lives, or never again in the history of Presidency University, would you face this very unfortunate situation. I'm sorry, and I apologize once again for what has happened.
Sir, we have full confidence in you, and it is indeed a solace for us that you have said that you are with us. I know that some of our students would like to ask some questions. Our Chancellor has very kindly agreed to answer questions. So, would the students please put their questions to him?
Honorable Governor, sir, we have a number of questions from the student community of Presidency University, which is really appalled by what has happened over the past 2 days. And the first question here will be asked by Shantuki Majumdar, a first-year student of our university.
Your Excellency, we were right in the front line when the gates were broken open and like a flood of water barging in through the gates. Criminals, as you said, came in. And we were truly afraid. This huge commotion was truly panic-inspiring. Now, sir, my question is, throughout the past 2 days, in various aspects of the media, in various channels, various TMCD leaders have said that their party bears no responsibility for this, that they have no involvement in this. When video footage of the invaders have been provided, they continue to deny that such an assault has taken place. Sir, what is your response to this?
I think in all these matters, I would sort of adhere to the idea that let us investigate into what has happened. As you just heard, the Chief Minister herself has said that this is a dream project of hers, and therefore it's rather inexplicable that they should have carried out an attack as a conscious effort on if the political party that you mentioned is involved. So I will wait to see what the police investigation reveals. I think there have been some arrests made, and what was behind the attack. I think the more important thing is what you started off by saying. How do these people enter the precincts? What are the arrangements that are in place to provide protection to the young students who are studying here? You have come here to study, not to fend off goons from across the street. So I think I would like to concentrate on what are the protective measures that we can put in place with each one of you. You're a first year student, there are others who are there. And I would say particularly the girl students who must be feeling even more traumatized than many of you. What can we do to assure them that this will not recur and that there are some protections in place? I think that is what I would like to concentrate on. The other matter about individual people or individual parties protecting or not protecting, you can see that this is this happens quite often. I mean, we have the case of the assault on the Chief Minister and other ministers in Delhi. The political party which is believed to be responsible for that is protesting, saying that they are not responsible, etc. So it's usually the practice not to acknowledge one's guilt. It is, and as having been in the past a policeman, I know that this is often the case. What I think we need is how are you sure that this will not happen again? I think that should be the principal responsibility. That is something that I would like to work with the police. It goes, let me tell you, it goes well beyond the normal constitutional responsibilities of a governor. But I think I owe it to you, having been a great admirer of the student community in Bengal, a great admirer of Presidency College, though I come from a rival university, Madras University. And I feel that we need to ensure that the students have an ambience in which they can progress. So what I assure you is, over the next few weeks, I will try, in association with the police and the administration, to put in place a system by which you will never have to undergo a trauma of this kind. That's all that I promise you. I can't promise you anything more.
Sir, the second question that I have is that there's been a justification given in the media about how the attack on presidency was a revenge attack for what happened to our Honorable Finance Minister in Delhi a day earlier. Sir, but the point is that the students in presidency had absolutely nothing to do with what happened in Delhi. So was this a sheer show of power? And even what has been happening over the last one day, where activists from presidency have actually been charged with false cases of attacking the Trinamool Chhatra Parishad activists when they were standing outside presidency. So sir, regarding these false cases, what do you have to say?
A false case is a false case. We should never entertain a false case. You know, I think I'm so old that I like to go back a lot. I think politics in the country has become much coarser over the years. And while we have made tremendous advances in the realm of economics, great deal in technology, in many sciences and whatnot, I think there has been a tendency to sort of slide back as far as much of the political elements are concerned. And I think this unwillingness to acknowledge the truth has probably been one of the major, fault lines that has taken place. But, you know, I don't know whether we should sit down here and debate, because the media will have their own versions. There are several people who will carry stories to each other. But you are or have been the victims of a very unprecedented situation, a situation that should never have arisen. You have to realize what this means in terms of our image within the country, or within the state, within the country, and worldwide. If students of Presidency University can be sort of treated in this manner, I think the reverberations of that go far beyond the university itself or the city itself. It goes farther. Therefore, two things are necessary. One is the administration must do its best to ensure that it never happens again. Two, and that's where I urge you students, stand up. Stand up and never allow this to happen. Do not get be pushed onto the back foot as a result. You are the future, as you've been told over and over again. And I would say that in what you do in the face of this kind of situation lies the hopes of an entire country. Please keep the faith. Do not give up.
Sir, I have a very simple question for you. The role of the police on that day has been adequately highlighted in different media, and I'm sure you know about it. So my simple question is, how soon will we be adequately safe?
You know, you said it's a very simple question. The question may be simple, but the answer is very complex. No, I'm not being flippant. I think a situation has arisen, particularly in the state of West Bengal, over the years where there has been a compact between the university administration or college administration, political parties and others to say that the police will not be allowed inside the campus, and even if they are within the campus, that their options as to what they should do are limited. This has been a very unfortunate legacy of what I call an excess of liberalism in this matter. After I've come here and been the Chancellor, I've raised this question from time and again. Now, even where you have a gherav of professors or students or whatever it is in the university, there is an unwillingness to sort of bring in the police to deal with the situation. Now, you must understand that this leaves a certain amount of impact on the mind, attitude and approach of the police. I mean, they're also human beings in some respects. I am sympathetic to them to some extent, I concede, though I do not agree with what they did. But there is a tendency to say that unless I'm specifically given orders to do A, B and C, I will not act. And I must confess, there is an unwillingness usually on the part of the college or university administration to wait till almost the last minute before something of this kind. And that gives these hooligans a chance to do the kind of things that happen. So the answer to your thing is, I think we need to revise this. I hope I will be able to, in the course of the next few weeks or so, make some amendments in this kind of thing, that there is a certain amount of automatic response to situations of this kind. That is the only way that we can prevent the hooligan. And the fact is that these hooligans also know that unless the university administration or the college administration or somebody really sends for the police and this and that, the police will not act, and that it takes time. There is always a time lag between the event and what not to think. That has been the case. We have seen this not merely in Presidency University, which fortunately had not faced this kind of situation before, but there have been several other colleges and universities where this has been faced. This is a big problem, and therefore when you ask, it's a simple question, but the answer is a little more complex. We need to, in a sense, alter this. The basic point is that the university and the students know how to police themselves. This may be all right as far as those within the university or within the college are concerned. But now, as we are saying, more and more outsiders, hooligans, criminals, whatever name you wish to give them, are entering into the sacred precincts of these educational institutions. I think we need a new set of laws, a new set of instructions. That's one of the things that I hope I will be able to, in consultation with the state government and the authorities and the police, to try and put in place. It may take a little time, but let's hope it will happen.
So, being a woman, it is a little difficult for me to even talk about it. But for the past 2 days, the women in our college have been targeted in every possible way. Dean of students, all these female students who were present there, they were threatened of being raped inside the very campus. And what is most surprising is, yesterday, a minister of the state claimed something like this, that the history geography of our Vice Chancellor needs to be negotiated and taken into account, to see what she's after. Why will she walk with us when an entire attack had been done on presidency and so readily decided? How are we supposed to take that? If you could please talk about it. And honestly, in this whole situation, I, on behalf of all the female students here, we do not feel secure. Even our faculty does not feel secure. How, and what do we do after this? Inside our campus, probably we are secure. Nobody knows what happens to us as we walk down College Street. Someone would probably come and rape us. If they could actually say that, they could do it any day now. That's all.
Okay, there are two parts to your question. One is, I think you have an outstanding Vice Chancellor. I have had some role or responsibility in appointing her as the Vice Chancellor, so I know fully well what are her capabilities and what are her qualifications, and above all, what is the kind of person she is. But it's true across the world today, why not only in India, attacking the persona of an individual has become the norm. So if you can't find anything else, you attack the person who's otherwise not under attack. So I think this is something that we have come to realize. I mean, I've been in public life in some way or the other for nearly 60 years, I think now, almost. And you're never complimented for what you do. You're always under attack, whether for something that you've done most of the time, or not what you have done, but what somebody else wants to say that you have done. So all I can tell the Vice Chancellor is, and so far I've seen that she has put up to anything of this kind. I think the Vice Chancellor, I mean, if you can't find anything else, whether it's A or B or C, may make the statement, but I don't think it carries conviction to you. It doesn't carry conviction to anybody else. And I can only say that those who are doing this belong to the detritus of history. So I don't think that is the matter. The point that you made about safety is, I think, a problem that is now engaging not merely Bengal or Calcutta or Bengal, but I think the rest of the country. I think the debate as to what it is that has made India so unsafe for women in particular, but even I would say others in some ways, is, I think, a major issue of debate and discussion. You heard the Prime Minister was in Berlin. It's probably still in Berlin, right? And the subject had come up at that point when he had to put forward the view that no, India is a law-abiding country. It will protect the safety of people, etc. The very fact that the Prime Minister had to make a statement of that kind in another country shows how much we are concerned with this issue. It is a major question. It is a serious issue. I think we need to do something clearly about it. I don't know what's happening. This is not the India that we had even maybe 15, 20 years ago. But clearly that is not the answer. The answer cannot be that, oh, we don't know what's happening. We need to put in place provisions, etc. I think the debate on this, to my mind, is not going the right way. It's fault finding all the time. The administration didn't do this, the police didn't do that, etc. But I think we really must be clear why this is happening. Why can't you walk at 1 a.m. in the morning alone on the street of, whether it's College Street or AJC Bose Road or somewhere else? I mean, this is a free country. This is our country. This is a country that the great people have fought for and gained our independence. I just came from, and that's why I must first apologize for keeping you waiting, because there was a function to honor Babu Jagjeevan Ram, one of the foremost leaders that India had produced. And when I talked to him about, he was the very symbol of egalitarianism and equity and social justice. Now, what is it that these people did? We inherited a great country. We have a civilizational existence of 5,000 years when we talk about provisions, etc. Till very recently, when I had another job as a national security advisor. Whenever we went abroad, most people talked of India's philosophical underpinnings, India's civilizational inheritance, and the kind of democratic traditions. I don't know what's happened in the very recent years. That is a problem. I see the problem you have. I recognize the problem that you say. Whether the police alone or the administration alone can deal with it is a question mark in my mind even now, because I think we need much more of the citizenry also coming into it. People who particularly those who come and talk in the media, we need them to realize that we are talking of our own children, whether they are biologically or not, but everybody, each one of you, as far as I'm concerned, are children to us. So I recognize the pain, I recognize the concern.
you must be safe. If you're not safe, as I said, I as a governor have failed in my duty. I hope by the time I finish, I'll be able to give you an answer to that. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, we always see that whenever something happens, the government always gives us a monetary compensation. But my question to you, sir, is that all the famous scientists, professors have spent hours and hours working in the Baker lab. Can you actually buy that heritage by giving us a monetary compensation? And another question is that today we see that police is all around. There is so much of security. All of a sudden, when something happens, after that, suddenly our life becomes more valuable and not before. Thank you.
I agree with you. No amount of monetary compensation can sort of compensate for what has happened, whether it's in Baker Lab or if somebody has been assaulted or raped, etc. I think it's some ways an expiation of one's guilt. I mean, this society or the administration sort of expiates its guilt by paying money. But I think that's not the way. You're right. We have a lot of policemen now. But my one request to each of you is, I would like from the students not merely only of Presidency University, but students of universities across, saying that we want more policemen in the campuses. I think the major issue always has been that we don't want the policemen, we know how to handle. I know that that 90% or 95 or 99% of the students would like it. It's that 1% who are interested in creating trouble and hooligans. But I want a movement to start by which a demand that we need more protection within them. We need more policemen. We need more authority to be given to the vice chancellors, the deans and others, so that if necessary they can handle. I'm sorry to say that over the years, I think many of you are first year and second year students, but I think those older students would realize the tendency was to say that no, we don't want any outsiders, we don't like the police. I know the police there are a lot of bad eggs in the police, but the police are as good or as bad as many other segments but that is the institution we need. We need to improve that institution, I concede, but in the meantime, we at least need the physical presence of policemen, because I can tell you, even the worst policeman on the street is some kind of a bulwark against some kind of vandalism. So, I know that the answers I'm giving are not exactly an answer to what you require, but I'm trying to find a way which will at least meet this pathway, if not the whole thing. So my request is, do try and make a case for a certain larger element of the police or law and order elements in your institutions, because including on the street, I think one of the biggest problems that we are facing is the absence of what they call the foot policemen, the people who do the beats, walking there on the street. I mean, most of the policemen whiz by in vehicles today. They've got state-of-the-art vehicles, etc. But the physical presence of a policeman on the street at 11 o'clock at night or 2 a.m. in the morning is, I think, will go a very long way. And I think that is what we need to come back to in some ways. Thank you. Can I have another meeting at... Any other important question? Or?
Just one last question.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time that you have given us in answering all our questions. But one major point that you came up with was the presence of more policing in our campuses and in our state to partially solve the law and order problem that you spoke about, sir. But somehow we as students of Presidency who have witnessed various levels of violence over the past few years, and we have seen that the police always plays a role which is pro the government that is in power. As such, sir, we respectfully disagree with you, and we would like to say that more policing in our campuses would actually just put more power in the hands of whichever government is in power in West Bengal, sir.
No, I would like to take you on this. I'm sorry. I think it is true that governments, whichever government is in power or whichever political persuasion, do try to bend the instruments that they have into favor them. it is true that some of the most visible symbols of this are the police. But let me tell you that you must need, there is a thing like developing confidence in each other. And the more, I mean, you can't condemn every policeman, you can't condemn whole batches of policemen as being vehicles or instruments of the government. Governments also are interested up to a point. Now, we are now looking at an issue that confronts us all, I would say, that hooligans are coming in and doing this. They may have a political color. Goons always take a political color, whether they are part of the political setup or not. What I'm trying to say is that please try to have some degree of faith in the institutions of governance. If not, if the gap widens, then I think our democracy is in peril. You must try home the point. You must make this point clear at every stage. I assure you that from the highest levels to whether it is in the administration or the police, nobody wishes to sort of act as the handmaidens of people. Yes, some people are bribed, some people have other concerns, but I would say that there is a very large percentage of policemen who would like to uphold the law. What they do not receive, and that's why I made this point. I know I'm being provocative in the audience of this kind. They don't receive any kind of acceptance by the people that they are part of. You look down upon them, then there is a reaction to this. My response to it is, we will try on our side to try to improve the quality of the police and the quality of policing. You on your side, please have a little faith, because if not, the point that I wish you to have, that you need to keep the faith as far as your future is concerned, cannot be achieved. Thank you.